What's up everyone, it's Untouched here, or better known as Luca on Twitch. And today, this is gonna be a little different to what I usually upload. So for those who don't know, I used to play GBF, Granblue Fantasy, a couple years back but stopped playing it because I lost interest in the game. For those who may know me last time, I used to stream GBF regularly on Twitch, and after a really long break, I decided to return to the grind again. Well, I still log in from time to time during my hiatus for the rewards during anniversaries and stuff like that, but that's pretty much about it. Anyways, let's get right into the video. So, I've been playing this game for a long time actually. I think I got into GBF back in 2017, but only started streaming in 2019, all the way until mid-2021. Now, I really enjoyed the game despite how a lot of people said that this game was a grind fest, which, spoiler alert, it was. But thinking back on it now, it's really crazy how the hardest content back then was the 6-man Lucius raid, where people had to put stickers just to indicate that they were going through a turn. I think I still have a VOD of that, maybe I'll show it in the video right now. But yeah, it was definitely some fun times we had there, especially for my first clear. But fast forward to today, and you can just easily full auto that raid now. So I had my reasons to stop playing the game, and one of the reasons was that I personally did not like the direction GBF was going, especially when V2 was introduced. Moreover, I was starting to feel the fatigue of grinding constantly every day. Now I remember I was coming back from school or work in the evening, and from 8 PM onwards I was just full on dedicated to streaming and grinding GBF. It's pretty insane now that I think about it, but I feel that the main reason was that my viewers was what's keeping me from going, and I truly appreciate everyone who swing by the channel when I was streaming back then. So earlier this year, sometime around March, I started feeling a bit nostalgic again about GBF. Now I'm not really sure what piqued my interest to get back into the game, but I just thought, you know, maybe it's been a long while, so let's just give it another go, since at the time I didn't really have much to do at the moment. And let me tell you just how stunned I am with how much content they have added to the game. I did not even know where to begin farming, and you might tell me to just look at the wiki, and I was stunned as well on that, because there's just so many weapons that I've not seen before, you know, like the sub-auras, extra weapon slots, the Revens, the Rebirth, the Celestials, and the list just goes on. And coming from someone who has just built like a M2 grid, and that was like the peak Magna build, it was honestly overwhelming to absorb all these new info, but in the end I was still determined to play it again. Luckily, my account wasn't too bad since I was already considered so-called in the end game last time when I stopped playing. Although the grids and characters are outdated, but thanks to logging in occasionally for the special events, I was able to get my hands on a few characters that I did not use before. Now, over the past 6 months, I've been actively catching up on the grind. There's just so many things to do, but in the end, I decided to focus on the M3 Magna Rebirth weapons. Now, due to the outdated grids I have, it was super difficult to host the raids initially. Now, due to my weak setups relative to the M3 bosses, but nonetheless, there was something else I can do instead to farm. That's right, leeching. Or, in this case, the minimum blue box requirement. Now, I started off with Lumi Credos first, since Guild War was coming up at that time, and I believe it was light advantage. And luckily, I still had a pretty decent Dark team I set up before I went on hiatus, which was just enough to get blue box. And afterwards, I moved on to Fire, since that was the next Guild War advantage element lined up. And then over time, I did the Tiamats, and then the Celeste, Yggdrasil, and then lastly the Levy. So in the span of 6 months, I managed to finish all the M3 raids with the minimum of 3 Exalted weapons each, so that's pretty good. And at the same time, I was working on a bunch of other stuff too. There was just too many things to do at the same time, so I had to focus on just one thing at first. So I had to unlock the new Row 5 classes, which I did not unlock at all before I stopped playing the game. And then now there's this new thing called the master levels for the Row 4s and extra classes, which I also had to grind a bit. So I did that on the side end. And I also had some loose ends to tie up as well, such as the farming for the ancestral weapons, which I actually did not finish farming before I went on a hiatus. And then of course to catch up with the new ROTB stuff, the characters, the exo weapons, and of course the events as well, and many more. Now at the time of this recording, I am currently at rank 285. And when I started this grind 6 months ago, I was only at a rank 225 to 230 if I'm not wrong. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how far I've progressed, especially in the rebirth grind. Now with M3 out of the way for now, although I think I will probably need to get grinding on these eventually because some of the stuff in the game requires the animas as well to farm. But nevertheless, I'm working towards finishing some of the innate weapons. So the raids like Atum and Tefnut, those are those raids I have not really done a lot on, but I am starting to work on it. And you know, GBF has this weekly like rotation for extra drops, so that helps out a lot with the grind. And also I'm preparing to get some of my Eternals Transcended as well as my Evokers to 5-star. Now I currently have Neon at 130 and Octo at 110. Not sure who I'm planning to get next, but I'm leaning towards Ezreal or 6. And as for the Evoker 5 stars, which is honestly the most pain in the ass to grind, I feel, I'm still only halfway to getting my first Evoker to 5-star at the moment. But yeah, I'm also starting to look into these 6-man Riven raids as well. So you got the Siegfrieds, the Mugen and the Diasporas. But it's been really difficult for me since I'm lacking a lot of those meta characters that I use for those raids, like Horus or Cosmos, which I'm lacking of. So I desperately need a lot of new characters for this account at the moment. And hopefully I can do a decent spark to get all the characters I need soon. Yeah. Now, will I stop playing the game again in the future? Honestly, I'm not sure. Only time will tell. But as the present stands, I am still currently enjoying this game despite the endless grind. So yeah, this is my GBF account update. I know most likely not many is gonna watch this video, but I realized that having something saved or archived personally really helps to keep yourself in check in terms of your progress, and of course the nostalgic memories when I see this video again in the future, who knows. And to anyone who was my Twitch viewer back then, and you somehow randomly stumble upon this video, if you hear this, I would like to say thank you for the awesome time back then. I can't say for certain that I'll go back to streaming as active as I was back then, but I may stream from time to time if I have the time and mood for it. So what do you guys think of this video format? Let me know in the comments below, and also feel free to share your journey in GBF as well. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next grind.